Okay. See if this is all on here right. And I think we're just about good to go. What's up, Adriana? Going live here with Drew. Here in a little bit, we're going to talk about some fitness. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Or we're waiting here. See if anybody else hops on here. So I'll give him a minute before we go live together. Okay. It says you requested to join, but when I hit accept, nothing's happening. Are you still on here, Drew? Leave a message in the chat if you can hear me. Let's try again. Yeah, it's still not working. I had this problem with another guy I went live with recently, and he had something like,
What's good, Rick? Can you hear me?
there we go. Yeah, I can hear you now.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, how you doing? I saw
Good,
you
good.
were
I
working
can't
out
complain.
today.
Yeah, every day. That seems like the main motto. How about you? What you today?
Cool. No, dude. Rest days, man.
You said, I
Gotta
mean,
rest.
that's what today was for me too. It's like a active recovery. So I do like reverse sledding and I do all types of more body weight and mobility work, mostly on like the weekends.
Oh, that's cool. Like mobility stuff.
Yeah, yeah. More recently. So before I used to do like a 7 day a week type of cycle, and then
Yeah.
I would notice my lower back would start hurting, my hamstrings were constantly tight. So then I had
Hmm.
to almost, take a few steps back and make several progressive steps forward. And then I started, like I said, doing more mobility work. And I just feel, as you know, a lot more sound and comfortable throughout the day. So what's
Oh
like your
yeah.
regimen like?
Oh, so I just go Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and that
Okay, three
gives me
times
a
a
lot
week.
of, yeah, I go 3 days a week, and that gives me a lot of time for recovery and to just like enjoy myself. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Like the
Um,
balance,
so
the equal balance.
exactly, for sure.
Okay.
Now, back in like high school and college, I used to go 7 days a week, and I would see all these like amazing gains, but like
Hmm.
at what cost? Like I was a slave to my fitness. I was going to the gym like for 1 or 2 hours a day every single day,
Hmm.
and it got to the point where if I missed a workout, like I
You're
would
moving.
noticeably lose gains. Like, and that's just if
Okay.
I miss like one or two workouts, man.
Yeah.
And now with the way that I'm working out, and we'll get into it when we get into the nitty gritty of this video. Now I can miss like a week, sometimes up to 2 weeks of working out and come back to the gym and hit a PR, you
Yeah.
know? Whereas when I was working out 7 days a week, I was making great gains and I looked good. But like most of those gains were just like mass, just volume in
Yeah.
my muscles, just like
But like
blood weight, water
minuscule.
weight.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's like real, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like muscle that is being retained naturally
Hmm.
in my body.
It's more like relative strength, which prolongs over a set period of time based off of
For,
your efforts, opposed to what I call like a fallacy illusion, where you
mm-hmm.
get almost like the SpongeBob effect, where you almost pump the muscles with blood, but it deflates, like you said, when you stop working out for a week or two, it goes
Oh yeah.
back to a normal state. So yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So right now, when you do 3 times a week, is it mainly for body focus, or you know what I'm saying? Like what exactly is your split where you could get the amount of stimulus you need for growth as well as just finding that right balance? Because for me, I have to do 3 to 4 days a week, but it has to be full body so I can
Yeah.
touch up on everything to get the growth. So what is your splits and cycle in that case?
So, like I was saying before, back in the day, like in high school and college, I would do like a chest day and a biceps and triceps day and a back day, and that's definitely not how I do it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, Now it's like I'll do A, B, and C workout. So it's like a Monday,
Hmm.
Wednesday, Friday workouts. And what I'll do is it's more or less like push pull on each workout. It's like push
Okay.
muscles on one day, pull muscles on the next day. So,
So, quick question.
um,
So, would it be like a like the full interior, like your front side of your body for push, and then pull would be, for instance, you'd be back, hamstrings,
yes, but
glutes.
it's
Got you.
not
Okay.
necessarily like I don't stick to that push pull. Like that's just the idea of it. Like for
Got you.
example, I'll do all of legs on my push day. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Or on my
Yeah.
pull day. And then on my push days, obviously I'll do like triceps, chest, shoulders. But sometimes I'll even incorporate shoulders onto my like leg days too, my pull days,
Hmm.
because since I'm only going 3 days a week, I can afford to do that and still have the like the enough rest to be able to pull
Yeah.
that off. Because essentially what I'll do is I'll do a workout A and a workout B. So
Hmm.
on one week it'll be workout A, workout B, workout A, and then the next
Hmm.
week it'll be workout B, workout A, workout B.
Yeah.
So that way at least I'm switching it on and off
Hmm.
enough so that I'm not gonna like hit a plateau.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also don't overlap the amount of muscles you're working throughout the week in the cycle. Okay. That totally makes sense. Got you. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So tell everybody who you are, what your name is, how you got started into fitness, and kind of what your plans are, what your goals are.
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, my name is Andrew Panther. So I've been working out now for, I would say, around like 8 years, but actually going for more an aesthetic and doing things off of a mental disciplinary, more focused drive. I said the
Mm-hmm.
last 4 years. So I have great genetics. So I like to give people that type of formal introduction, right? You can't really see what I do and think you could reproduce the same exact result off of how I am because
Mm-hmm.
I have a genetic pool I was blessed with. So my father was like a former Jamaican Olympian standard runner. So the
Nice.
things that me and my sister do is not really um, the demand is probably 20% where somebody else needs 100% to get the same result is how I like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really fully took advantage, I guess you could say, of my opportunities as well as my potential until after I graduated from college. Throughout
Mm-hmm.
college, I was doing the traditional thing, which is, constantly smoking, drinking, partying, chasing
Right.
external validation and things that had no return on my time. It only negatively impacted me, right?
Yeah.
So going back to what I said, 4 years ago is when I really had a revelation and I really reflected on who am I? Who is it I want to be? What is it I want to almost begin to embody? And that's when I wanted to go to the Olympics. This past one, actually, that was my main goal I set in mind. So from somebody who never got up early, from somebody who never consistently worked out, from somebody who never really had a drive to actually set a goal and stick to it, that's when I did a paradigm shift. and I began to cold turkey almost stop drinking, stop smoking. I started going to bed at around 7:30, 8 p.m. every night. I started
You
talking to
did tell me that.
friends.
You did tell
Yeah,
me that.
man. Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, damn, he audio puts his phone on, do not disturb,
Yeah, do not
or in
disturb
airplane mode
airplane
at
mode.
8:30.
Bro, it
I was
has
like,
to
he's for
be a
real, man.
lifestyle. And I feel like it has to be almost in the case where if you want a crazy result, you have to do crazy habitual type of routines
Yeah,
day to
like it
day.
has to be a lifestyle.
It has to be a lifestyle, yeah. So that's basically what I started doing, and I really had to reprogram my mind. And more recently, I was able to develop more of a balance where you can't be all go and not have enough time to also give time to loved ones, give time to friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it really right now for me is just balancing between trying to elevate myself and also elevating the people around me who I love, appreciate, and cherish. So that's I guess my main gem right now with what I like to do going
Hmm.
forward with my life and my time. So what got you into fitness though? Like what was your main aha moment? Like this is what I want to do with my body, my life, and transform off of that.
Cool. Yeah. So it sounds like we have a lot of things in common, but when it comes to our core philosophies in fitness, I would say
Hmm.
that we're very different. And that's
Okay.
just because, like, my goal right now, like, my belief is to make it as easy and, like, as sustainable as possible for the whole
Hmm.
lifestyle. Whereas you're, like, trying to go to the Olympics, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
is
Oh,
not what I'm trying to do at all.
that's done now. Because I got hurt, so I learned through adversity where I was so depressed because I was like, wow, I really gave 3 to 4 years of my life fully committed while having a senior accountant job, so sitting down all day, and then I'm trying to run 10 miles a day. So
Hmm.
the clash between sedentary lifestyle with my hips being tight and then trying to go out there and be an Olympian, I started getting hurt and then I had to work around getting injured. So I went from running, like I said, 10 miles to biking, 30 miles. It was just doing too much. Where if I actually probably took your approach, where I tried to maybe do a little bit less, right now I might have actually got that goal accomplished, you know?
Hmm.
So I learned through adversity how to take an obstacle that might be a barrier for one blockage in your life. But long term wise, now I have a mentality based on it is what it is. That's my main term and my
Hmm.
main I guess anchor in my life. It is what it is. That's why I tell
For
everybody
sure.
it is what it is, good or
Are
bad.
the
So
Olympics still on the table for you? Like, is that something that you would?
nah,
Okay.
nah. Like I said, I held on to it for so long, but eventually
Hmm.
you have to just come to terms. What are the pros? What are the cons? The pros are, like I said, within those 4 years, I learned so much about myself. I learned it is possible to get up at 4 in the morning and not feel like a victim. A lot of people don't like to get up early because they feel like a victim. They want to sit on the edge of the bed with crushing their eyes and be like, why do I have to get up? I chose to get up. No one
Right.
made me
Hmm.
get up. I chose to get up. I chose to take those steps. I chose to, set my shoes up the next night, have my
Yeah.
clothes ready. Whatever is the least amount of effort and thought process makes it easy to get going early in the morning. So I had to do all these little steps, and that is how I think, live, and have that type of panther mentality now. It just came from one set big goal ahead of me to now I see the true essence of what the goal turned out to fortify, So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I get that 100%. So it's not about like um going to the Olympics or doing all these external things for like that
Hmm.
external validation, but yeah, you can still incorporate those things into your life. But not for, you know, other people to see it, but for you to get out of it like how you see yourself, or not even necessarily how you see yourself, but just the lifestyle that you want to live, which is awesome.
Yeah,
But anyway, back
100%.
to the original question that you asked me, how I got into this and how I got started. So, in high school, I was an athlete. I did like a few sports, but I was never like the top leading scorer in any of those sports. But that's kind of how I got into fitness in general. I really liked the way that I felt when I was like after practice. I liked, being lean. I liked being strong. And I started lifting with my friends during like the off seasons, and I really liked going to the gym. Um, and I just liked the way that I looked when I was in better shape. You know what I mean? Because when I
Yeah.
wasn't lifting, especially when I was younger, I would get like really, really skinny, like not in a way that looked good either, like in a way that looked like
Like
like my
flat.
shoulders would get real small, my chest would get like shrunken in, like I looked like a little boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, prepubescent. I
like a like a
understand.
like a 12-year-old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it almost got to the point where I would let myself get insecure about it. I was like, oh dude, like I hate like looking like this. Like I gotta wear a sweat. Like I gotta wear a sweater around, or a sweatshirt, I mean. um and so it got to a point where I was like, I never want to look like that again, you know.
Mm,
And so I started lifting, and like I said, at first I got totally carried away with it. I would go like 7 days a week. And I would do these huge like volume workouts where I would do like, sometimes when I would do chest, I would do like 10 sets of 3 with like super
mm.
heavy weight, which is great for putting on, mass. And my arms were bigger then than they've ever been. Um, but like I would have leg days that were just for legs, and I would do like squat and lunges and deadlift and leg press, like all in one leg day workout, plus, like calf raises and leg extensions. So I would pump myself up with volume. And dude, like I looked good, but at what cost? I was spending
Mm-hmm.
like an hour and a half in the gym every day, 7 days a week. And I had to eat like 4 or 5 meals a day, to maintain the gains that I was getting, because I was burning so many calories from uh, the the massive amount of volume that I was doing in the gym. But it got to a point where, like I said, I was a slave to my fitness, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't obtainable. So what I would do is I would put in all this work, I would realize that it wasn't obtainable or sustainable, and I would crash, I would plateau, and then I would lose all those gains, and then I'd have to start over from scratch. So it was this constant roller coaster of up and down, and I would let myself get down back to the points where I would lose all my gains and go back to looking like, a way that I wasn't happy looking. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta start doing this again. And I would go back to the gym, do the 7 day a week bullshit, that I hated, but I liked the way I looked.
Yeah.
But the problem was, it wasn't worth it to me. And so anytime like something external happened in my life, whether that was class or just going back to school or whatever, because in the summer times during college, I would go to the gym super hard. And then when I would go back to school, my whole routine would change, and I'd be like, oh, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to go to the gym, and I would quit.
Look for the
Um,
excuse in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would make excuses, like, oh, I have to walk the way to the gym. I can't
Yeah.
stop until winter time.
Yeah.
Um, and dude, it was just like a nightmare roller coaster. And I thought, there has to be a better way. So a couple years after I graduated college, um, I started doing like reverse pyramid training, and I started following pages like, I don't know if you follow like any fasting channels, like the Kino Body was actually the first one I ever found. Gregor Gallagher, Kino Body. You heard
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
him?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was the
I'm
first one that I
familiar
found
with
that
the
kind of
reverse
that
pyramid
kind of
training.
got me interested into like intermittent fasting and reverse pyramid training.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got interested in all that, I did a lot of research on it, and I started learning about how, oh, you actually don't need to go to the gym, 7 days a week. Like you can make gains going 3 days a week, and
Mm-hmm.
actually do it better because of the muscle retention that you get from fasting, for example, which is my
Yeah.
preferred lifestyle. I fast
Mm-hmm.
now. Now it's more of intermittent fasting, but during the summertime I was doing like longer fasts, which is what brings me to the table here, because it's something different that I provide that other people are not talking about, which is like longer fasts, prolonged fasts, and dry fasts that people are just not
Oh
talking about.
yeah. You my type
But
of guy.
anyway,
Okay, I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway,
That word.
I started going 3 days a week, and I started intermittent fasting, and I was like, holy shit, this is so much easier than what I was doing before. I'm having fun. I enjoy my workouts, um, and I'm still living my life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I call myself fitness fast, because it's not necessarily fast, but when you're fasting, right,
Mm-hmm.
it makes the muscle retention. It promotes muscle retention, and it's just fitness made easy, essentially, for me, because what I was doing before is I was doing it the hard way, and now um, I essentially think about it as I'm doing it the easy way. And of course, there are
Yeah.
no shortcuts. I still have to go to the gym. I still have to do heavy sets,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoy my workouts. They're short, they're fun. I do exercises that I like, um, and uh, and it's only 3 days a week, whereas before it was 7.
Yeah.
So
Think
this is
about
what I'm
that.
trying to tell people nowadays, and that the whole reason I started my channel. This is the last thing I'll say. This was a total rant.
No, no, no. But
um,
I'm happy you said all that
yeah,
because I have a
yeah,
very
but this,
similar
but
lifestyle.
the whole reason that I started this is because I was so sick of seeing like the mainstream fitness magazine stuff that would say, oh, you have to have chicken and rice every day. You have to be eating out
Hmm.
of Tupperware 6 meals a day. You have to be going to the gym 6 days a week. Like, that's simply not true. And the only reason that they're trying to get people to believe that is so that they keep coming back for more advice. They keep coming
Hmm.
back for more workout programs. They keep coming back for more meal plans. And that's
Yeah,
simply not how it has to be, excuse me. And I would know from experience.
yeah, yeah. Because you've been on like both sides of each different. I don't like
Exactly.
the word controversial, but each different advice that people recommend. You've tried both and figured out
Yeah.
what works best for you. So I definitely understand that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when it comes to like the whole fasting thing, I actually fast as well. So I do 20 hours for the last 4 years as well. And I usually swap before doing my meals in the morning and then other times in the evening. So most
Mm-hmm.
times I do 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., which I currently do now because I work out in the morning. And then the times when I used to do prior, before I wanted to shake things up and make my life more uncomfortable, I would do 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So have you ever tried doing your fasting window in the morning opposed to in the evening?
I essentially stopped eating breakfast when I first started fasting back in like 2017, and I've
Hmm.
never really looked back. Like, I just don't really like breakfast. I hate
Hmm.
the way I feel in the morning when I eat first thing in the morning. It
Yeah.
almost makes me feel like sluggish.
Hmm.
But that's not to say like that I never eat breakfast. Like, for example, because fasting is a lifestyle for me,
Hmm.
if I want to go out with my girlfriend or my friends or my family and eat breakfast, um, for like a holiday or for a special occasion or something, I can do that. You know what I mean? That's not
Yeah.
going to affect my gains at all. It's not like the keto diet where if you start eating carbs, you're essentially screwed, like you ruined your whole ketosis or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, with this, because I do it so often, if I break my fast once in a while, I eat breakfast once in a while, whatever, it doesn't matter because I do this
Yeah.
so often because it is a lifestyle for me. But otherwise, to answer your question, no, I never eat in the morning.
Okay, got you. Like I said, I only started doing it because there's like studies on it based on your circadian rhythm. So on like a primal type of, if you want to say, on a primal level, we generally would hunt, let's say for instance, in the evening, and then we would probably catch something, go to sleep, and in the morning when there's light, we could see what we caught. We could be able to cook it, eat it, and then have our stomach begin to metabolize food earlier as the day goes on. And when the evening comes, your metabolism generally slows down. So I've experimented myself and I've had the same amount of calories tracked precisely in the morning and in the evening. And for some reason, I'm able to lose around a pound a week if I eat the same amount of calories in the morning. And it's just because we're more active in the morning and throughout the day. Just move in and we burn through the food and begin to break it down for energy usage, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I just like trying new things, seeing what works, and where is the mental, I guess everything goes back for me with mental, like where's the mental edge in it? So I feel so um enlightened, that's the word. I feel enlightened when I feel hungry throughout the day. I can't
Hmm.
explain why it is, but I know the feeling you have when you feel like you need to eat is an energy force that you could utilize and transmutate to get more shit done. Best way to
Oh,
put it.
100%, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
we agree on this 100%. And I really like the um, ancient human example that you used
Hmm.
because they weren't waking up in the morning eating Lucky Charms, and they didn't have refrigerators to put their meals in. So if they
Yeah.
woke up in the morning and killed a woolly mammoth for their tribe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had to eat all that or it was going to go bad. So they would
Or an
fast for
animal was gonna take
days.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, they would fast for days sometimes and then kill that, whatever elephant, woolly mammoth, dinosaur, and then cut it up, eat it. They would eat like kings for a day or 2 days or whatever, and then they would fast until they could do it again. So
Yeah.
when you look at like drawings of ancient humans, what do they look like? They look super lean. They have like
Hmm.
huge shoulders, and obviously like these are just drawings because no one's been there to see them, but you can
Hmm.
assume that those were pretty like historically accurate depictions of what ancient humans looked like based on the lifestyles that they lived.
100%, yeah. And mostly what they do is, in a sense, low intensity steady state cardio. They would just walk all day, and sometimes they would do
Yeah.
like a jog, for instance. Like they would
Mhm.
keep throwing spears at certain animals. The animal would run, they chase, they begin to walk as the animal gets tired, and they would literally make animals overheat and begin to pretty much compress their heart to die, have heart attack, just from running for their life. And they just would begin to, like I said, take the animal, eat it, use it, and discard of other parts of it. So how do you feel also about animal organs? Have you tried supplementing with stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, they're super healthy for you, dude.
Hmm.
And it's hilarious because like I hate beef liver. Like I think it's disgusting.
Yeah,
But I read something recently that like a pack of wolves, like when they make a kill, like let's say it's a moose or something, they'll save the liver for like the lead wolf, like the alpha male wolf, like
it's truth in it. Hmm.
has his pick of the organs first. And there's a
Yeah,
reason for that, bro. It's because those are like the most nutritionally dense parts of the kill. And so
yeah.
like even like for example, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Hmm.
When my mom makes the turkey, I always ask her like, "Hey, save the heart for me, save the liver for me." And she's like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna throw those away." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna eat those."
yeah.
Because actually the heart does taste really good, bro. I don't know if you ever tried that.
I've never only
Um,
tabs. I haven't got like
yeah,
the stomach muscle enough to
it's
actually
pretty
eat it
small, dude.
physically.
It's like a third of the size of your fist.
But
And
what
same
does it
with the
taste
liver. The
like?
liver's not that big. The
What's
heart just
the
tastes
liver
like
and the
regular
heart?
dark meat. The
For real?
liver, the
Okay.
turkey liver does not taste good. It's like really dry.
Yeah.
It's like sandpaper.
I've never
Um,
tried it like physically, just had like tablets, but I can't really do that. I don't have the stomach for it. But like the tabs, I can take a tab with some water and I can like, hold it down. But
yeah, right.
there's levels to this. But that's probably cool if you have it in like its rarest form. It probably has more of a like a crossover when you begin to digest it, Because
Mhm.
you don't know what they put in tablets when they say it's animal organs. I don't know if it really
Exactly.
is mashed
Yeah.
or not. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how do you feel about that? Do you take those like often?
I take them every day, 3 in the morning when I break my
Mhm.
fast.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel it just because of the high iron. I can feel like my testosterone levels increase over like
Hmm.
a set period of weeks because that's generally what it has. So it has iron, it very has vitamin D as well. Um, of course, it has all different types of things as well when it comes to zinc. So main things that usually prescribe like a higher testosterone based on vitamins is generally what the organs have a high consumption of. So for me, that's the only reason why I started taking it. And what is the effect you felt from it, more or less? Like you feel energy with the B12 as
Yeah.
well. Like are the B vitamins?
So I'm glad you asked about that. So especially when it comes to testosterone, for people that are watching this now or for people that are going to watch this later, a lot of people see that and be like, how do they know that their testosterone is higher or lower? I mean, you can get that checked, but also there's a lot of like common sense things that'll happen to you that you can tell what your testosterone levels are. Like for example, if you're not waking up with morning wood every day,
I'm
your
about to say that.
testosterone's
Yeah,
low.
it's
Um,
shitty. Yeah,
if you're getting tired at like weird points during the day, your testosterone is low. Um, and a lot of people um, that have like ED or like problems getting it up during sex, like they'll blame like, oh, I have low libido. Like, bro, the odds of you actually having low libido or like needing Viagra or whatever are actually super low. Like the main problem here is probably that your nutrition sucks, and your test levels have plummeted. And what I mean by that is if your nutrition sucks, you're probably eating a lot of estrogenic foods.
hmm
They're just naturally bad for your test. Like if you're drinking a lot of soda, or eating a lot of fast food, like that stuff is just naturally garbage.
yeah, 100%.
Not to mention if you're using steroids like irresponsibly, that's also going to cut down on your natural test production. Obviously, I feel like
Uh-huh.
most people should know that.
But they don't. That's the sad part. So a lot of people see all of these influencers who look like amazing, like they're almost sculpted out of rock, and they
Mm-hmm.
want to be like them. They want to do the same cycles as them, but they don't understand. It's like you are never. It's pretty much like you are going down a tunnel that does not have a light at the end of it. Because once you start taking those things, you now have to constantly use that to replace the testosterone that naturally gets produced. Best way to put
Right.
it. So I don't have time for I mean, I don't like to judge people who make decisions off of their life. So I say to
Mm-hmm.
each their own.
as long as you understand the repercussions with your actions and you're doing it safely, do what you must do. But I
Yeah.
feel like we're very holistic with the way we think and we live. So it's risk and reward, you know what I mean? For
Yeah.
us in that case, yeah.
So the cool thing about your body is naturally really good at healing itself. So I do feel like if you use steroids and then you stop, your body will like eventually start to slowly make its own testosterone again. But I'm sure that takes some time. I really don't know
Years.
too much about that
Mm-hmm.
because I've never taken uh, gear and I never will.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know some people that do juice, and I would say that they do it as responsibly as you can, I guess, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Like they'll be cycling as opposed to stacking, or um, they'll only do it for a little bit and then wean off of it. But it's just not something I would ever recommend to people
Mm-hmm.
because of the toxic side effects that it does have. And I would say just about everyone, I would say everyone that I've ever met that has told me that they were juicing, they know about the side effects. Most, I would say people that do roids do so knowing the risks that it has. And
Yeah.
that's just something that they're going to choose to do anyway because they see the benefits. They know how they want to look. They want to have these absolute massive boulder shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, to an extent also, and like you said, I don't judge anyone. But at the same time, bro, like I look at most of the macro influencers nowadays on like Instagram and stuff. Um, that are supposedly clean, and I just don't buy it, bro. Like I
Yeah.
just don't buy it, especially because like you'll see these people and it's like, holy cow, how could you possibly do that? And even like pro athletes don't look like that. And these are people that, have millions of dollars worth of personal training poured into them. And obviously they're not juicing because it's illegal to do in their sport.
Mm-hmm.
But like these fitness influencers, bro, we would never know if they're
Yeah.
juicing. And they could just be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And we have to take that at face value. So most of them, I don't buy it. I think most of like the very, very higher end um, fitness influencers nowadays are taking roids, and I think they're doing it because they feel like they have to be honest, to stay relevant. They have to look better than,
100%.
than the other
Yeah.
guy.
Because everybody wants to compete with the next person. And even athletes, a lot of them actually, they do take certain things, but they know when the drug tests are coming. Because
Yeah.
if it looks like it, generally it is that exact case. So if you see somebody, for instance, who is in the NFL, huge traps, really big, thick neck, abs, benching 315 for consistent reps, it's like it comes with the territory, best way to put it. But it goes back to what you said. Like, I don't really care because I know what I'm doing. I know what my decisions
Mm-hmm.
are. So I don't really focus on anybody outside of my own little bubble and world. I like to bring people up, but day to day, I really don't focus on what other people are doing. I guess
For
as
sure.
selfish as that sounds, yeah, yeah. It's just I really be in my own bubble. Like, how can I get better? What can I do with my time to expand more and actually begin to develop myself more? And I just really am just locked in and focused. I know people like to say they're focused, but my focus with myself, because I always tell people you have to like really love yourself, like in an almost inhumane, unhealthy way. That's really how I view myself. Like I love myself. Like I can't put words on how much I love myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to really just like what I coined be a humble narcissist. That's the best way to put it. I love having
That's cool, man.
conversations with
I
people.
like
I
that a
love sharing
lot.
ideas.
A
Yeah, but
humble
I'm a humble
narcissist.
narcissist. Like when it comes down to it, yeah,
I like that a lot. A humble narcissist. No, but you
yeah.
you absolutely have to love yourself 100%. And I wrote a book that I'm gonna publish soon. I won't publish.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna post it on Amazon about fitness, and I wrote a whole chapter about that. You have to
Okay,
love yourself 100%, and you
yeah,
have to trust yourself, because if you don't, then it just makes life so much harder.
100%, yeah.
Um, so tell us about some of the things you are doing in the gym. Like, how do your workouts look? Because I kind of
Okay,
touched on this already.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I used to do, like I said, for instance, 7 days a week, I got good results and progress. And what I was doing is just push, pull legs, and I
Mhm.
would repeat that same cycle for years, to be honest. No rest days. It worked. I knew how to balance it. I knew how to do biofeedback. So most days I didn't have to write down what I planned to do. I would go in there. I would notice, for instance, what part of my chest insertion is tighter, but I would always make sure if my chest was too tight, I would do a little bit less volume and I focus more on the shoulders or the triceps. And I always go into it with I start my day with meditation. So when I'm doing meditation, I'm able to almost inspect and examine my body, and I know where work needs to be done and where it
Mhm.
needs some more love and attention. So that's what I used to do. And right now I've been doing more of a 4-day split. And I actually started doing something similar to what you said you do, where it's I get the most bang for my buck, and I try to go for more heavier sets now, opposed to doing more higher volume 8 to 12 rep scheme work. So now what I do, for instance, I do reverse pyramid training. I will warm up, get to a certain weight where I know I could only get a maximum amount of effort for maybe 6 reps, and then I slowly trickle back down. Same thing, like you said, Greg from
Same.
Gallagher
Yeah, I do
promotes
that too.
20%
Okay.
less
Mm.
for each, following set, right? Is that what you do? So you do
Yeah.
the heaviest set, then you do 20% less, and then another
Yep.
20% less.
Well, I'll
Okay,
do
so
10%
do
less, but
10,
yeah.
you do 10% less. Okay,
Mhm.
so I do 20 because if I get up to like 300 on bench, and I try to go down from that to maybe 270, I'm already tapped out. So I know I have to do like around 255, and that's
Mhm.
like for me to still get a maximal stretch and contraction and get those exact type of beneficial gains that I want to produce. So it's just at the end of the day, biofeedback is what I tell people. Like, listen to your body. What is your body telling you? And then with that knowledge that is innate, you kind of can like pick which avenue you want to go down and maximize your
Mhm.
efforts with.
Yeah. And for everybody listening to this, that's like, oh, I don't know about all that. Like that sounds like a lot of math. It sounds like you guys are making it harder than it needs to be. What I'll do, and Drew, you might do this too, is I will save my workouts right in my notes on my phone, and
Mm-hmm.
then I will just change it every day that I work out based on whatever I do. And
Yeah.
I'll literally just like, let's say I do 170 on bench press for 6 to 8 reps, then
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put that on my calculator, 178 times 0.1, and that's 10% down, and I'll just do that or whatever it's closest to. Like if it comes out to like 161, then I'll just round down to 160, obviously. And
Yeah.
I do have micro loading plates, which I would actually highly recommend. They're awesome. I use them all the time. They're 1.25 pounds. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I've reached a plateau, or when I know that like I'm ready to go up weight, for example, let's say on weighted dips, I love doing closed chain movements. And on my weighted dips right now, I think I have 120 pounds attached for 6 reps is my best right now.
Okay.
Um, but let's say I'm ready to go up weight, and I know that I could go up, but going up 5 pounds is too much. Maybe even going up 2.5 pounds is too much. And those are just the weights I have access to at the gym. So I have my micro loading plates, which are 1.25 pounds. So I'll put them on.
Yeah.
And I have 2 of them so I can do it for bench and squat too. And it's really nice to be able to hit a PR each and every time doing that, because I can go up by
That's a
such a
great idea.
minuscule amount. And it's also a mental thing too. Like,
I'm
oh,
about to say the same thing.
I only added 1.25 pounds on each side or whatever, or on my total weight. Like I can definitely do this.
Yeah. That you said it though. It's like to eat an elephant, you have to take small bites. It's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things. So I like that approach. I might need to try something with that micro plate loading, because 2.5 pounds, when you feel like you've reached your apex level of what you could produce,
Mm-hmm.
that 2.5 is still 2.5. It doesn't matter. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's relative strength. That's awesome. Okay.
So you said that you are fasting too. I know a lot of people are really getting into fasting now, especially intermittent fasting, which has been
Hmm.
popular for about 10 years. Um, I know there's actually a guy that we both mutually follow, Speedy Shepherd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we both follow him. I actually did a live video like this with him a couple months ago, which
Okay.
is cool. So shout out to him if he's watching this or if he
Yeah.
watches it later. But he fasts too, and him and I both talked about this as well. Um, what got you into that, and why is that like your preferred lifestyle? I don't want to say diet, but why is that like your preferred lifestyle way of like keeping disciplined and keeping like a good way of eating?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With just a structure.
Method is
So
the word I was looking to use. Structure, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So for me, fasting got introduced to me more or less just with it was in a way that was not accurate. So I first was told if you skip breakfast, you could eat whatever you want and still be able to make gains, which a lot of people say in the beginning. So I was like,
Right.
okay, sounds awesome. I would skip it, and I would just be eating like crazy. But at the same time, I also was trying to pursue the Olympics. So I'm running a lot, and I'm burning lots of energy. I'm like, wow, this works amazing. I'm losing so much weight, but it still came down to calories in, calories out.
Right.
Following that, like you said, with the prolonged fasting, I ended up pulling my hamstring, and it was so inflamed. I did a 3-day water fast and a 2-day
Nice.
dry fast, and
Hell yeah.
I like I
And you
said, people
healed it,
might not
didn't
believe
you?
it. I healed. Yeah, exactly.
I
I
knew
healed
it.
what was a grade 3, and I healed after 5 days. I was able to walk properly, not limp, and that's what really got me into fasting, more like a certain type of internal cleansing phase I could do every single day for 20 hours. That's how I see it. I eat clean, but let's say occasionally I want to still, like you said, enjoy life, indulge in foods that people say you shouldn't, they vilify. I know I have a background of my body being able to detox it like a defense system for 20 hours because I'm not eating. So right now, the main reason why I love fasting is just simplicity. I have a crazy appetite and I love food.
Same.
That's the thing. I love food. I don't
Yeah.
need food per se, but I love food
Yeah. I could
in
sit down and eat
abundance.
1,800 calories in one meal.
Yeah, there's levels to this. Like you could break it
Mhm.
down into 6 meals, but when you have a nice big plate, it just feels,
So
going
nice,
back to what
right?
we talked, it feels primal. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I
So
see it.
satiating too, right?
100%.
Yeah, big time. Um, That's awesome, dude. I love the story about healing your inflamed hamstring with dry fasting because that is actually how it works, which is so freaking cool. But we'll never hear about that in the mainstream fitness
Never.
industry because you can't sell that.
You can't.
Um,
It's
you
free.
can't sell it. Yeah, exactly. But I'll talk about it, man. And
Yeah.
that's like the whole reason that I got into the whole, like, I guess we're more along the lines of like micro influencers. That's how I got into this whole sphere anyway, because I was
Hmm.
like, wow, I know so much about this because I've incorporated this too. I want to show other people how it works as well.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. The first time I heard about one of my friends fasting, I was in college. It was probably like 2013, 2014. And I was with my brother and one of his friends, and his boy was like, I haven't eaten since Friday. And it was like Monday or
Yeah.
Sunday at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you're crazy. Like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you? Um, so he kind of is who gave me the first idea to do that. Um, because even though at the time I was like, you're crazy, um, which I regret now, you know what I mean? Because obviously he wasn't crazy, he was right.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's still doing that. I don't talk to that guy anymore. But that's what gave me like, oh, this is something that like is actually possible. And it's when it comes to dry fasting, it's crazy. And I challenge everybody that is watching this to do this. Go onto Google and type in how long you can survive without water.
You'd be
It's going
so
to tell you like
surprised.
3 days. It's going to tell you like 3 days,
A lot
which is
longer.
total BS.
Yeah,
It's
it's a lot
crap
longer.
because I just did a 3-day dry fast like a year ago. Um, and I mean, it definitely wasn't fun. You know, I wasn't like, oh, this is great. You know, I feel like I could, I feel, at the end of that third day, it was tough.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to break my dry fast at the end of the third day. I was like, this is rough. But that's just because my body just wasn't prepared for that at the
Yeah.
time.
And you're
Um,
lean already as is. Like you have a
exactly. Yeah.
lot
I'm
more fat
super lean.
storage. You actually begin to metabolize the water that is stored in fat cells. So
Yes.
people who
Right.
are overweight, they could fast for 40 days, like dry fast, if they needed to. If you're
Exactly.
very morbidly
Yeah.
obese, it's crazy how that works. Yeah.
And I wrote about that in my book because I'm a Christian and I'm a Bible
Hmm.
believer. And
Okay.
in the
Awesome. Me
Bible,
too. Yeah.
in the Bible, Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, but it says that he drank when he was thirsty. Now,
Yeah.
Moses neither ate nor drank for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, he was in the presence of the Lord, which probably makes a difference.
Hmm.
And to do 40 days and 40 nights, bro, like you would have had to have been prepping your body for that. And also, I do genuinely believe it's possible that Moses was drinking urine. Um, because to fast for that long, I think that that's something that you would have to do,
Yeah.
which is fine. You know what I mean? Because I think the Old Testament does directly say like Moses neither ate nor drank water. Like, okay, so if he was on the top
Yeah.
of Mount Zion or Mount Sinai and he wasn't eating or drinking water when it specifically says drinking water, he might have been drinking urine, which
Yeah.
is fine. I'm personally never going to do that.
Me either.
I know
But
that
there's a
if you want
lot
to,
of benefits.
yeah. So if you
I've
want
read
to
up on
dry
that. I'm
fast,
good.
if you want to dry fast for like 2-3 weeks, I would recommend doing that. Otherwise you can die. But like, especially if you're just going to hop right into like, oh, I'm going to do a 3-week dry fast. Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah, good luck.
But yeah, if you have excess body fat, like you were saying, your body will pull the water stores out of the body fat and use that to keep your body hydrated, because your body is like 70 something percent water. So you can burn a ton of body fat when you're doing a dry fast. Like, it's almost like an accelerated regular fast.
100%. Yeah.
Now, I don't do dry fast that often because I don't need to, because I'm already super lean. But I recommend it to everyone, and like especially with people that have diabetes. You can dry fast and like cure your freaking type 2 diabetes
Yeah.
doing that. Like,
You know Paul Robinson?
yeah, the snake
Okay, yeah, he
fasting
talks
diet
about
guy.
that. Yeah, Snake Diet guy. Yeah, he talks about
Yep.
that a lot. Like,
And it's crazy because one of my boys actually has diabetes. And I was telling him about this because they prescribed him metformin and Januvia.
mhm.
And metformin and Januvia, the like reasons they prescribe them do the exact same things to your body as dry fasting does.
Yeah.
However, the side effects of those drugs do a lot of other things to your body too, which are obviously like super toxic, that
Mhm.
dry fasting does not do, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so, and I told I told my boy that too. I was like, dude, like if you don't take these drugs and fast, like you could cure your type 2 diabetes without taking the drugs and without having these potentially like super harmful side effects. But it's cool that you watch Cole. I actually learned a lot from him when it
He's the
comes
one
to
who
dry
really got me
fast.
into doing like long fast. The
Yeah,
safe
he's
way.
fearless,
He
man.
put me onto the whole thing, but actually using like salt and potassium chloride. Because I got up to 3 days the first
Oh
time.
yeah, like the snake
I
juice.
felt so bad. I was driving home, and I obviously over time with just research figured out I just was electrolyte diminished. So I'm like, why am I feeling I'm about to fall asleep behind the car trying to just do a normal drive I do daily?
Hmm.
And what I learned over time is you just need to have potassium chloride, you need to have sodium and magnesium if you're doing a very prolonged fast.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing a 5 day fast a couple weeks after, no issues, no like I said, negative impairments with my brain fog or feeling lethargic. So it all goes back down to electrolytes. So when you do a long fast, do you use electrolytes or what's your supplementation with that?
No, so the longest dry fast I've ever done is 3 days, and I
Mhm.
haven't had to
I mean
do
like a
that
water
because
fast, normal water.
I haven't. What'd you say?
Just like normal water. I've never done 3 days dry. I've
Oh,
only done like the most I've done was 39 hours, not even
oh,
40. I couldn't make it because I get
yeah,
too lean, and at that point, it's just like you say, you listen to your body. I know when it's
yeah.
time to risk reward, you know?
Hmm. For sure, for sure. And dude, I've seen your pictures. You're super lean, bro. Like you are just as lean as I am.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't need to. I would recommend it. I would recommend it for everyone. And because you are a Christian, bro, like do it for the spiritual benefits too. And the Bible does talk about that as far as the spiritual benefits with fasting and prayer. It's really, really
Mhm.
awesome. And I personally did experience that. But in the summertime, bro, I'll do water fasts every day, and I'll
Mhm.
do a 23-hour fast every single day. So I would just do the OMAD diet, and I would
Okay.
eat one huge meal every single day and then fast for 23 hours.
Yeah.
Um, which is great, but like, you do have to catch yourself when you're doing that, because it is very easy to eat in a deficit for too many days in a row and put your body into a catabolic state. And
Yeah.
then you have to eat it at maintenance for a while, or you have to eat at a surplus for a couple of days in the week every week.
For the
Excuse
average
me.
balance.
Yeah, to make sure that you fix your body so you don't actually go into starvation mode, which is possible, of course, when we're talking about fasting and putting yourself in a caloric deficit for all those days in a row. So I don't want people thinking like, oh, I could do this forever. Like you can really jack yourself up.
You can't.
So it is important that
Facts.
you monitor that. But the thing that's cool about it is it's so easy to fix. It's so
Yeah.
easy to fix. And it's obvious when you do that, because you're gonna start feeling like crap, and you're gonna stop losing fat, and you're gonna stop gaining muscle. And
Mhm.
that's simply because your body thinks that it's actually starving, and your body's going to be like, oh, I need to keep this fat because, if I'm dying, I need this for energy. Um, so when you start to notice that's happening, then just realize you've put your body into that catabolic state. And then you need to eat at maintenance until your body fixes itself. Eat at
Yeah.
maintenance for like 2 weeks, or eat intercaloric surplus for 2 or 3 days in a week, every week, until you start losing fat and gaining muscle again. And then you know that you essentially fix that. So
Hmm.
that's one thing I hate about people that'll like talk crap about fasting and how, oh, it's so bad for your metabolism. Like, bro, no, it's not. And you can't
Yeah.
crash, like you can't stop your metabolism. Like if your metabolism completely crashes and stops, you would technically die, you know?
Oh,
So
1,000%.
I don't get behind all that either. And that's a lot of stuff that people will say that just don't understand fasting. And because it is like literally the biblical way that God commanded for us to eat, especially in the Old Testament, like why do you think that God would tell his armies to fast before battle? Like
Hmm.
there should be like a logical explanation to this. Like obviously this is the naturally best way for humans to eat. Otherwise God himself wouldn't have told us to do it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Facts. Omnipresent in perfection. You know, they're saying that if he's
Mm-hmm.
instructed and he comes from a perfect type of being, it makes sense in that case as well. So yeah, experimenting with carbs. I eat carbs every day. That's my main thing. I don't really like mess with macros. I just do high carbs
Oh, I
mostly,
love carbs.
healthy
Yeah.
fats. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I do try to eat more protein than carbs though, but it is very hard because I love potatoes. I love carbs. Um, but the main staple in my diet is just like meat and potatoes. So it's very easy to get the right amount of grams of protein that I want every day when I'm eating um, like chicken and potatoes or pork chops and potatoes or steak and
Hmm.
potatoes every night. So, but yeah, for lunch every day, I will eat like casserole or pasta. So like
Hmm.
I enjoy myself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm. So what do you do? Like, what do you do for do you meal prep? Hmm. So what about you? Do you like meal prep or? Mhm. Yeah.
Much reach that goal you wanted to initially hit. So 230, 178. That's definitely some good work.
I was just reading that as well.
Yeah, no, that's solid. You can't beat that. That's definitely hats off to you for, you know what I mean, your efforts. That's awesome.
All right, guys. If anyone has any questions in the chat, go ahead and type them in here. Drew, we've been going here for about an hour. This has been great. We definitely covered a lot of ground. We covered a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and even some things that I didn't think we'd talk about, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Did
sure.
you have any other things that you wanted to go off of tonight, or any other things that you wanted to discuss?
No, I mean just questions. Like I'm not gonna lie. Going back to everything with feedback, I told you I start usually like ramping my night down around this time. I'm just
Hmm.
getting super tired. And it's so crazy how your body gets in like a certain cycle. My body knows when to be up and when to get tired. Like I said, the whole thing is just awesome how you can set a lifestyle based on just actions in the past, you know? So,
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they have any questions, like I said, we could definitely answer some questions and then
Yeah.
wrap it up.
It doesn't look like anybody's typing anything in the chat currently. You have anything you want to promote or anything before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, right now, I have a Patreon platform and I have a few guys in there. And that Patreon is more just on giving men, as I call it, like a road to follow if you want to begin to tap into your true essence. So true essence meaning going back to what you said, where a lot of people are eating lots of things that are estrogenic and they begin to lose testosterone and things like that. I feel like we can have a long talk about this too. So one last thing actually,
Yeah,
do
we'll
you
have to
do
do this
semen
again
retention?
sometime, bro, for sure.
Do you do semen retention? How you feel
Uh,
about that?
no, I'm not big into that, but I do think it's definitely worth learning about.
Uh-huh. Or at
I'm
least no
not,
fap?
I'm
Like
not,
how's that with like porn and stuff like that?
yeah, I'm not real big into watching porn. I do
Okay.
think that that's super toxic.
Yeah, okay, good, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of what made me stop watching it. Like honestly, years ago at this point now, yeah, it's been a couple of
Hmm.
years. But right now I just do semen retention and I still believe you could still have sex but learn how to control the urge to finish sometimes. Even
Hmm.
though it seems like what's the point of doing it? But you get so much more to the female at the same time because now it's
Hmm.
not just like a selfish, let me just get it off real quick and and then I'm good, you know? So when you do it
Yeah.
and you don't really have the intention of finishing, you at least could give more affection because your intention is not only on you, if that makes sense. So yeah. But like I said, we
Oh
definitely
yeah,
have to get
for
on
sure.
another talk and chop it up sometime and just get more in discussion. Because I like that you have the spiritual, metaphysical proponent with everything you do. That's what I like a
Mhm.
lot. It's not just physical with your intentions. That's awesome, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and that's how it has to be, bro. And that's the when I told you I was writing my book is on all aspects of health. It's on mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, and they all come back to fasting, bro. Like
Bingo.
fasting
And
benefits with
when's
all
your
of
book
those
coming
things.
out? Because I want to check that out too.
So it is done.
Hmm.
I just have to post it on Amazon. So at this point, I'm waiting for a good time. People don't really want to read a book about fitness during the holidays because everybody's like pigging out for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So I'm probably going to wait until like January, February, and then drop it when
Hmm.
people are starting to get serious about coming back into the gym. So I'll
But I
just post it
mean,
on
your book would be
Amazon.
perfect for it.
Um,
Your book would be perfect for it. So for me, when I was doing 1 meal a day last holiday or 2 holidays ago, doing 1 meal a day,
mhm.
saving my appetite, and knowing I could literally splurge out, and it's impossible for me to overeat because, as you know, you get like that type of food coma. It doesn't matter how much pie you eat, doesn't matter how much like ham, turkey. There's no way you're gonna get in too much of a surplus if you're eating 1 meal. Because
For
we
sure, for
have
sure.
built an appetite, but if you've
Yeah.
never done 1 meal a day or 20 hours, your stomach shrinks or it feels shrunken. You eat and then it just expands and then your energy just crashes. You get that blood sugar rush and it just crashes and you are out.
Oh
And
yeah,
you wake
that
up the next
insulin
day,
spike,
wow,
and
I'm
then
so much
absolutely
leaner.
straight back down.
Exactly. Yeah. They go to sleep. They're like, I'm so much leaner today. I ate everything I wanted to eat. And all goes back to your book just on a lifestyle of fasting. You don't have to deprive, just delay. So,
Hell yeah, bro. Listen, it was a pleasure talking to you, Drew. Everybody go follow his Instagram page. I'm going to save this live, post it to my YouTube, and I'll also save it and post it to my Instagram as well.
yeah,
So,
for sure.
man, you have a good sleep tonight. I'm about to eat dinner,
Likewise.
and then I'm
Let's
going
get
to
it,
go
my
out
guy.
as well.
For sure.
So, peace out, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Pleasure as well. Yep. Peace.
All right.